Hi friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to do the Swoop and Osprey's UNF Dance Eyeshadow. Okay, so, alright, so, step one, this is optional, but what I like to do, I don't know if you can tell that my eye is a little veiny, a little purple, so you can use eyeshadow primer, or what I like to do is I like to use a little bit of concealer. I like that much. You can blend this out with a brush, finger. I'm going to use a Dirty Beauty blender. But anyway, I just like to do this before I put eyeshadow on because it's going to make, sorry for all the faces that I make. It's going to make the eyeshadow blend a lot easier, and it's going to give it basically like a nice, even, my contact, a nice even base before you start. And it'll just help the colors to show up too. So that's probably about good. So I don't know if you can tell a difference, but I can. So just makes it a little bit, I don't know, easier. So next, we're gonna go in. Like I said, I don't know how many brushes you guys have. I'm using 3 brushes for this look. You can use your finger, you can use one brush, whatever. So I'm gonna go in with the transition, which I believe is number 3. But I'm gonna go in with the transition. I'm gonna get a good amount of it on a brush. Tap off the excess. And then basically the transition color is going to go everywhere. Because it's a transition, it's supposed to kind of be like a little lighter, so you might not see it show up at first. So just keep going in. This one, you can like, just don't be afraid to like, just go in with it. Also, I don't have my eyelash extensions today, that's why my eyes look so bare. So once again, just keep going in with it. And like I said, this one, I'm using a big brush because the transition color basically goes everywhere. So I just find it easier to use a big brush because you don't have to be precise at all with this. The key is just to put it everywhere and just to blend it out. So that's what I'm doing. Alright, so once you've gotten a good just base down, I'm going to go in with a littler brush, but you can use the same brush, whatever, and we're going to take that crease color, which is number 4, and this one, it looks dark, but it actually like isn't super pigmented, so just don't be afraid to like go in with it. But basically this crease color you're going to want to do on the outside, just to darken it up. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. Once again, like it looks really dark in the pan, but as you can see, it's only like a shade darker than the transition one, so definitely dip it in there like 3 or 4 times. You're gonna need a lot, especially if you're darker than me. I'm probably like the fairest one on the team, and I still have to dip it in a few times. But yeah, this is just gonna give you a little bit of contrast. It's gonna darken up the outside. Like I said, I focus it more on the outside at first, and then once I've gotten a lot of the product off my brush, I'm just going to go in and kind of put it in my crease. Darken up where the transition was. But definitely just focus this one on the outside. And the key with darker colors is just to blend. So I do a bunch of like pokey motions. And then I also do a bunch of circular motions. And I do a bunch of back and forth motions too. So poke, circular, and back and forth. And that's the best way to blend out dark colors. Okay, and then just not too perfect because we're still going with more colors. So next, I'm going to take a little small brush, but totally feel free to, this one you can use your finger. Basically, I'm going to take the eyelid color, this one right there, and I'm going to go in with my little brush. Once again, this one, it's a little lighter, so you can get a good amount. Basically, I don't know if you can see with this eye, but I start here at the beginning of my eye, the little corner, and I basically just color my lid. I don't really go above my crease, which your crease is like basically right there. If you open your eye, yeah, anyway, that's what crease is. And then once again, obviously I know everyone's eye shape is different. Some people have a lot, if you can't tell, I have a lot of lid to cover, but those of you who don't, it honestly makes it easier. But just putting that all over my crease. till I'm satisfied. And obviously you can see there's kind of a little bit of like a harsh line there. So once again, that's what blending is going to help. So I'm going to go in with this one because it's still got a little bit of the dark on it. And I'm just going to tap and move side to side and try to blend it all together. And eyeshadow, just like 50% of it is just blending. And then once again, I'm going to go back to my bigger brush. It just is really easy to blend with a bigger, fluffier brush. Once again, you could do this whole look with your fingers and just blend with your fingers too. Whatever you guys want. Just try to go for this like overall look. Okay, so I'm pretty happy that's how that's blended out. Lastly, this is the easy step. We're just going to take that little middle brown bone color. I'm going to use the same brush I was using for my lid. I'm just going to flip it to the other side. Once again, you can totally do this with your finger. This one I'm only going to go in like 2 times. It's a little bright. But this one just goes under your brow bone. It highlights it a little bit. I'll tap in a little bit more. The biggest thing with eyeshadows, I would just say start with a little bit. And then you can keep going in for more and more. But once you put like a lot of a color on, it's hard to blend it out. So definitely start with a little bit and then add. So that just like kind of helps define where the eyeshadow stops. Sometimes if you take it up too high, this brow bone color is really good because then you can just basically push the color back down a little bit. And then once again, I'm going to go with my big brush. Just make sure the edges are all blended out. Same thing there. I think this eye could use a little bit more shimmer. Another tip I have, I'm such a YouTuber. Anyway, I need to make like a TikTok makeup tutorial. Is normally when you're doing makeup, you have one eye that's like easier for you, or one side of your face that's easier for you to do. One side that's harder. So for example, to me, my left eye is way harder to do than my right eye. So I started with my left eye, so that the eye that's easier for me, I can just try to match it up to my bad eye, if that makes sense. Alright, so once you're happy and I'm happy with the eyeshadow, go ahead and just throw on some mascara. I just quickly just did eyeliner just because I don't have eyelashes. But anyway, so quickly, the order I did was I did transition, crease, eyelid, then eyebrow. I think that's the easiest way to go. But you guys can do it however works for you, but it should look something like this. Basically just a transition right up here, a little bit darker in the crease, that shimmer right at the beginning, and then just a little bit of the brow. And that is the finished product. Thank you very much.